Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a few moments of your time to make some announcements before the ceremony begins. To comply with safety regulations, I'll point out the emergency exits in the Great Hall. For people in the upper tiered seating, there is an exit up the stairs behind you. People in the lower tiers and towards the back of the hall should use the exits on the left and the right of the hall. People in the front, please use the front exits. Please note your nearest green emergency exit sign. For those of you with small children, there is a soundproof crying room located at the rear of the Great Hall. The ushers in the hall will be happy to assist if you need to access the crying room. A professional photographer will photograph each graduate as they receive their award from the Chancellor, and a copy of this photograph will be available to all graduates to access and share via their Facebook page. Portrait photography is also available at the graduate reception in the Brennan Room after the ceremony. As a courtesy to everyone in the room, we ask that you switch your mobile phones to silent. Graduates, the university issues invitations to complete the Graduate Outcomes Survey. This survey gathers feedback on your higher education experience to improve the experience of future students. We strive to provide the best university experience possible for our students, but this cannot be achieved without your valuable feedback. We would appreciate your assistance with the survey. Some of the terminology used in today's ceremony may be unfamiliar to you. To assist in your appreciation of the ceremony, we have provided a history of graduation and an explanation of terms in the graduation book, together with a record of the presenters and those eligible to graduate today. The academic procession will enter the Great Hall in a few moments. When the procession enters, could you please rise and remain standing while we sing the first verse of the national anthem. At the conclusion of the ceremony, please also rise when the Dias Party rises and remain standing until the Dias Party and the graduates have left the hall. We hope you enjoy this very special occasion. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this truly wonderful occasion. To start, I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians, the Pambalong clan of the Awabakal people, on whose traditional land this campus is located, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. As Chancellor of this university and a graduate myself, I'm delighted to be able to celebrate this milestone in your academic journey. Graduates, you take with you today a degree from one of the finest institutions in the world. Newcastle is acknowledged for delivering excellence in education to its 38,000 students. Our degree programs are designed to meet the needs of business and industry today and anticipate those needs well into the future. As a result, the University of Newcastle rates highly for outstanding overall student education experience. That standing is underpinned by the university's ongoing drive to improve how we research, teach and learn, and collaborate with industry and employers. This year, the university started work on the new Honeysuckle City campus, preparing the site for the first main building's construction. It's scheduled for completion at the end of 2020 and will be the first stage to deliver a cutting-edge facility for the School of Creative Industries and an innovation hub, which will promote greater opportunities for students and researchers to collaborate with industry and investors. The university is globally recognised for its research output. Indeed, many of our researchers are leading the effort to solve some of the world's greatest challenges. Among the university's research achievements this year is a $35 million grant in funding from the Australian Research Council for a new centre of excellence in the area of mineral processing. The university is also part of another consortium of local and international partners to create a new $35 million Centre for Excellence in Synthetic Biology. Across all disciplines, from the sciences to the humanities, the university is recognised for research that delivers impact and innovation. Importantly, the university's focus on excellence in education and research sits hand in glove with a long-held commitment to equity. We offer the opportunity of education to students from all walks of life who have talent and determination. 1/4 of our students are from low socio-economic backgrounds, and we have the largest number of Indigenous students of any Australian university. Bolstering this proud achievement is the recent appointment of Nathan Towney as Pro Vice-Chancellor Indigenous Strategy and Leadership. In this role, Nathan will lead our Indigenous education framework and is also responsible for leading the implementation of our Indigenous employment strategy. Today's celebration of the completion of your studies marks another important milestone: your entry into the university's alumni network, and you're in very good company. One example from this faculty is alumnus Kramer Ball, who completed a Bachelor of Commerce in 1991. Mr. Ball is a certified practicing accountant, and for more than 20 years he's honed his expertise in the aviation sector. Over the course of his career, he's held senior roles across the world, including the Chief Executive Officer of Alitalia. Today, he's a senior advisor to Etihad Aviation Group, the Global Aviation and Travel Group. You are now united with achievers like Mr. Ball and the people sitting around you as an alumnus of this university. Our network of passionate and talented alumni stretches across the world, now comprises over more than 143,000 members in 135 countries. The network and its chapters offer unique opportunities to connect professionally and socially with other alumni, and I really do encourage you to participate. It's a very valuable network. Today is the culmination of many years of hard work. The testament that you'll be presented shortly is very much more than just a piece of paper. It's a symbol of all you've experienced during your time here at the university. This includes an acknowledgement of the support of your family and friends who've been with you every step of the way on your journey to today. You'll also be presented with a pin that features the artwork of local Indigenous artist Soretta Fielding. This gift from our university illustrates the importance of education and learning through the use of traditional symbols of people gathered around a central camp place, which depicts the University of Newcastle. This will be presented to you by a member of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community. To family and friends, we know that each of you are here to acknowledge the hard work of a very special person. We'd be very pleased, and they will be as well, I'm sure, if you let them know you're here with a cheer as they receive their degrees. Your involvement brings this ceremony to life, so you're encouraged to participate. Again, my heartfelt congratulations to each of you, today's graduates, and I now call on our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Alex Zelinsky AO, to present a candidate for an honorary degree.
Chancellor, I have great pleasure in presenting you the Honourable Greg Combay, AM, for the admission to the degree of Doctor of Letters Honoris Causa. Mr Combay is widely respected for his significant contribution to the Australian community across politics, industrial relations and finance. Today we're delighted to recognise his outstanding achievements. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering Mining from the University of New South Wales and a Bachelor of Economics and a Diploma in Labour Relations and Law from the University of Sydney. Mr Combay is a leading figure in the Labour movement. He began working for the Australian Council of Trade Unions, or the ACTU, in 1993 as an industrial officer, rising to the position of Secretary from 2000 to 2007. In 2006, while in the role, his leadership in seeking justice for people affected by asbestos contamination was recognised through his appointment as a member of the Order of Australia. As a member of the Australian Parliament from 2007 to 2013, Mr Combay represented the people of Charlton in the Hunter region. A strong advocate for the University of Newcastle and its research and education endeavours, he also championed funding for our new $90 million Hunter Medical Research Institute building. Thank you for that. During an esteemed career in politics, Mr Combay was a Cabinet Minister in several portfolios, including Defence Personnel, Science and Material, Climate Change and Energy, and Industry and Innovation. Throughout his time in Parliament, he demonstrated a strong commitment to social justice and equity and also climate change. Following his retirement for politics in 2013, Mr Combay has continued to engage in climate change policy. This includes chairing an independent review by the Victorian Government to inform decisions on emission targets. He's also co-authored the Fights of My Life, a political memoir and reflection on key episodes through his time in political life. In 2018, he was appointed the dual chairmanships, the chairman of IFM Investors Fund and Energy Super Funds, making him one of Australia's most influential leaders in financial services. Today, our University Council is delighted to award this honorary degree in recognition of Mr Combay's strong commitment to achieving social justice and greater equity in society. These are values that align with those of our university. Chancellor, I'm delighted to present to you the Honourable Greg Combay AM for the admission of the degree of Doctor of Letters Honoris Causa.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. By the authority conferred upon me by the Council, I hereby admit the Honourable Greg Combay to the degree of Doctor of Laws Honoris Causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Combe to deliver today's occasional address.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. To the Chancellor and the Vice-Chancellor, members of the University Council, staff of the University, family and friends of graduates, and most importantly, those of you who are graduating today. And firstly, I sincerely congratulate all of you who are graduating in your respective courses. It's not only a very important academic achievement after much hard work, but it's also a very important milestone in your lives. Secondly, though, I would like to very sincerely thank the University for conferring upon me the honorary award of Doctor of Letters, the highest honour offered by the University. I regard it as a tremendous privilege, and I'm enormously appreciative, and especially for recognition of any contribution I've been able to make in the various fields in which I've worked. And having had a very long association with the Hunter region, I'm especially proud to be honoured by this university. In giving the occasional address at your graduation today, I've reflected on my own experience since I graduated from the University of New South Wales in 1981 in mining engineering, and the advice that I might usefully provide as you consider your own future careers. I'd like to focus on the opportunities that a university education can create and the importance of your own values in making career choices. As I said, I graduated in mining engineering and later studied economics and labour law, and yet my career has taken me in very different directions. I worked in coal mining, but I've also been a workplace health and safety advocate, a leader of Australia's trade union movement, a trustee of Australia's largest superannuation fund, a parliamentarian and a cabinet minister, and I am, as the Vice-Chancellor indicated in introducing me, currently a company director and chair of a large global funds management business that invests money on behalf of not-for-profit superannuation funds. My experience, I think, is evidence of the fact that a university education can be the foundation for many, many different opportunities. And so I encourage each of you to be open to your education taking you in different directions, and especially to ensure that you follow your interests and your passions in your working lives. But the most important thing in my experience is to consider your values and how they might inform how you pursue your working life. Again, my experience has demonstrated to me that values underpin every aspect of personal and professional life. And what do I mean by this? Many of you are graduating in business, law and human resources. Your personal values and your conduct will determine how others see you and regard you, the reputation that you develop, and consequently that will influence your career opportunities too. Personal values such as integrity in your conduct, your diligence, your honesty in your dealings, your ethical conduct, for example, these are critical in areas such as legal services, in financial management, in business administration, and in the management of people. Just think about the importance of the advice that you may provide to clients, the quality of the financial and risk management decisions that you take, the way that you treat your staff and customers, or the weight that you place upon corporate, environmental and social responsibility. And I couldn't give a better example of what I mean than by reference to the Royal Commission into Financial Services Institutions conducted over the past couple of years. The scandals that it uncovered were evidence of appalling values that were applied by people of responsibility in those institutions. Values that unfortunately became part of their business practice of some of the major banks and once great companies like AMP. The prioritisation of profit to the exclusion of the customer's best interest failed the test of community standards, the values that the community expects of its institutions and their leaders. When these things were exposed by the Royal Commission, that was put in stark contrast. Ultimately, that cost customers money, people their jobs, and investors billions of dollars in their investment returns. And that's the significance that values can play in the conduct of institutions and the people who populate them. So failing to act with integrity can have massive consequences. And without really realising it at the time, my values set me on a pathway from quite a young age. I grew up in Western Sydney. My mum's here with me today. I developed a keen sense of the inequality and power imbalance in society fairly early in my life. And so after working in mining for some time, I realised that to satisfy my passion for social justice, I needed to change the course of my career. I became a trade union activist and eventually the leader of the trade union movement in Australia. I drew at all times on my university education, my experience and the power of my role to prosecute major campaigns and public policy reforms. For a decade I was responsible, for example, for improving minimum wages in Australia for millions of people. I led a campaign to force James Hardie, an asbestos manufacturer, to contribute to a multi-billion-dollar compensation fund for victims of its products. That company had known for decades that asbestos caused cancer and lung disease, but they covered it up, and they denied it. And eventually, when they could deny it no longer, they moved their assets overseas to put them out of reach of victims. 10 years on, or a bit more than 10 years on since we established that fund, tragically, over $1 billion has now been paid to victims, and that will continue for decades to come. Another campaign involved the recovery of almost $800 million in employee entitlements following the collapse of the airline Ansett, again following very poor business management practice. In 2007, I entered Parliament and became a minister in the Rudd and Gillard Labor governments. I was very proud to represent Newcastle and the Hunter region. My electorate was on the western side of Lake Macquarie and indeed the western area of Newcastle itself. It effectively stretched from Cardiff to Morisset on the western side of the lake. I was very proud to have the opportunity to contribute to this university and other institutions in the region, including the hospitals, the funding of the Hunter Medical Research Institute, the Hunter Expressway, the establishment of the legal campus of this university in town, the new law courts facilities. There are many great things that don't end up on the front page of the paper, but service in public life can really make a difference to people. Notwithstanding my background in coal mining, I'm very passionate about the threat of climate change and was proud to implement as a Cabinet Minister a carbon pricing scheme that drove down Australia's greenhouse gas emissions without closing any coal mines or losing one coal miner's job. The Abbott government abolished that scheme and now greenhouse gas emissions are sharply rising. And my point in raising that is that the contest in public policy is extremely important to engage in well and to utilise the knowledge that you've gained from your university education in the debates. In government, I also oversaw a mandated role in the electricity sector for renewable energy and supported the development of the CSIRO Energy Research Centre here in Newcastle and research capability on this campus. These days, I chair a company that invests the superannuation savings of millions of Australian workers in assets all around the world. We endeavour to manage those assets not only to deliver a good return to people's superannuation accounts, but also in a socially and environmentally responsible manner. Now, the purpose of reciting some of my own history to you is to emphasise again the benefit of a university education. Without it, I would not have been able to contribute in any of the ways that I've described. I want to emphasise the opportunities that it can create and also to emphasise the way in which your own values can inform how you use your education. At this exciting time, I think, as you graduate, take a moment to think about those possibilities from your own point of view. And my advice would be, don't be afraid to embrace the opportunities about which you feel most passionate, even if it involves difficult changes in life. Skills in business, finance, the law and human resources are extremely important in our society. You will have the opportunity not only to have fulfilling personal careers, but also to contribute to society. And for me, of course, as you may have gathered, that's the most exciting thing, to help make the world a better place by using your own education. So I encourage all of you who are graduating today to go out, make the most of your opportunities, follow your interests and your passions. Your generation will profoundly influence the future for many others. I congratulate you again on successfully completing your studies and wish all of you every success. And finally, I thank once again the University and its leadership for according me this honour, for which I am very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Combe. Thank you on many levels. I congratulate you on your award, which is overwhelmingly deserved. But also thank you for your support of the Hunter, and thank you for your support of this university in particular, because many of your values are consistent with the values held by the university and hopefully expressed. You've given very wise counsel to today's graduates, and they do enter an exciting world, but a world that has challenges. And your emphasis on being driven by values could never be more important. I'm sure that we've all been dismayed and disappointed by some of the revelations that have happened in recent times, and by people talking about cultures that were just not fit. The only point I'd like to make in respect of that is culture isn't something that's a constant. Culture is a reflection of leadership, and as you inevitably take on leadership roles, remember that you create culture. Your behaviour is the culture of your organisation. So please take with you Dr. Combe's very wise counsel, and Greg, thank you very much again, and congratulations. I'd now like to come to a very important aspect of this ceremony, and for this I'm going to ask that all of our graduates please stand. Do you mind standing? Thanks. Thank you. As Chancellor of this university, I now officially confer awards to all those candidates whose names appear in the graduation ceremony handbook and have fulfilled the conditions of admission to that award. Congratulations, and will everyone join me in applauding their achievements? Thank you very much. Please be seated. I now call on Professor John Anderson, Acting Pro-Vice-Chancellor for the Faculty of Business and Law, to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, a higher degree by research is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a program of study in which the defining characteristic is research. Doctor of Philosophy graduates have undertaken a program of independent supervised study for the equivalent of up to 4 years of full-time study. These graduates have produced significant and original research outcomes, culminating in a thesis which has been independently examined by external expert examiners of international standing. These graduates have developed a substantial body of knowledge at the frontier of a field of work or learning that constitutes an original contribution. Candidates can apply their knowledge and skills to demonstrate autonomy, authoritative judgment, adaptability and responsibility as an expert and leading scholar, with the ongoing capacity to generate new knowledge. Today, the University is proud to honour graduates who have satisfied the rigorous criteria for the award of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I present to you Albina Kartavchevka. Dr. Kartacheva's thesis is entitled Understanding Political Public Relations Techniques, an exploration of their value and function for political communication. Chancellor, I present Dr. Kartavcheva. Chancellor, I present to you John Woodward for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Woodward's thesis is entitled Lawyer Approaches to Court-Connected Mediation, a New Case Study. Chancellor, I present Dr. Woodward. Chancellor, a professional doctorate is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a program of study which includes both coursework and research components. The degree is awarded on the basis of performance, not only in a research thesis, but also in related coursework. The graduates have developed in-depth analytical and critical self-reflective skills which are beyond the master's coursework level. These students have undertaken the equivalent of up to 3 years of full-time study. Today, the University is proud to honour graduates who have satisfied the rigorous criteria for the award of a professional doctorate. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. Chancellor, I present to you Sargon Bitaji. Dr. Bitaji's thesis is entitled How Do Ethical and Fair Leadership Practices Impact on the Workplace? Chancellor, I present Dr. Bitaji. Chancellor, I present to you Chow Kun Man Hans. Dr. Chow Kun Man Han's thesis is entitled Innovation as the Influential Competitive Advantage Towards SMEs of IT Industry in Hong Kong. Chancellor, I present Dr. Chow Kun Man Hans. Chancellor, I present to you Chua Tzi Lan. Dr. Chua's thesis is entitled An Empirical Study of Peer-to-Peer Lending Websites in China. Chancellor, I present Dr. Chua. Chancellor, I present to you Ross Limbruggen. Dr. Limbruggen's thesis is entitled Innovation in the Australian Defence Industry, an exploratory study of the DST product innovation process. Chancellor, I present Dr. Limbruggen. Chancellor, I present to you Si Ming Lo. Dr. Lo's thesis is entitled Employment Status and the Psychological Contract, Hong Kong Academics. Chancellor, I present Dr. Lo. Chancellor, I present to you Chun Yu Peter Yao. Dr. Yao's thesis is entitled An Empirical Study of the Drivers and Impediments in the Adoption of Financial Technology in China's Greater Bay Area. Chancellor, I present Dr. Yao. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the higher degree research graduates. Chancellor, I now present to you graduates who have satisfied the requirements of a postgraduate award from the Faculty of Business and Law. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration with distinction and a Master of Applied Finance with distinction, Mohammed Awis Jan. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration and a Master of Applied Finance, Chin Yen Feng. Rumbadzihi Sharan Guma. Shivun Gupta. Yiru Wang. Tian Tian Wu. Zujin Zhang. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration and a Master of Human Resource Management, Nur Sufna. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration with distinction and a Master of International Business, Janae Kiernan. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration and Master of International Business, Ning Chang. Christopher Kamatsos. Rong Yu Chu. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration with distinction and a Master of Marketing with distinction, Laura Beckman. Nicole Sofianos. Kate Thompson. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration and a Master of Marketing, Huang Ding. Azma Gilani. Hao Chi Sin. Jiari Huang. Yu Rong. Rifen Swin. Ying Yu Swin. Nan Shu. Yi Shu. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration and a Master of Professional Accounting, Xiaoya Swin. Graduating with a Master of Business Administration with distinction, Rami Abdi. John Bowron. Matthew Chantry.